Hey everyone, this is Mike, and this morning the next area Busan came out for closers, which also introduced the new raid Misook. Now this raid, I definitely do not advise people to go into it solo. The first run I did was solo and took me about 20 minutes to complete. That is with dying a lot on the final phase, because the final phase has some kind of tricky to time perfect dodges in there. So definitely do not recommend you to go solo basically, because the boss is a huge HP sponge. So go and queue into it with some people. I'll leave some like my stats on the screen. I know I haven't even finished BB yet, but about 5 million TCP is above average. I found, like, whenever I was doing BB raids, I was usually on the higher end when it comes down to TCP, and Luna is not a bad character at any, like, at all. So she has a lot of HP. Do it in a party of like 2, 3 or 4 if you can find the people to do so, because it's gonna take quite a while to beat her. Now for the fight itself, it's actually really easy outside of the final phase. There is a couple of perfect dodge stuff here or there, but not too much, and most of the stuff doesn't even kill you anyway, so you can just heal through it with some potions or some regeneration items, or if you have a Soma on the team or something that can throw out some heals. There is one mechanic in the fight is kind of annoying, where your whole team needs to execute a perfect dodge. If one of them misses it, which you'll see happen every single time in the gameplay in the background, you get like an X over that character showing that they failed, and then she'll do an AoE around her and you have to run out of that AoE, kind of like you have to do on the final boss of Beelzebub, because otherwise you're going to get one shot. You can't perfect dodge this mechanic as far as I know. I tried it like twice and failed, so run out of that AoE if you do fail the perfect dodge, or if somebody in your team fails the perfect dodge, because otherwise you're going to be dying. So run out of that one for that. All the way in the final phase, there is going to be, that's pretty much the hardest phase in the whole fight, because in that one you do need the perfect dodges to be able to survive the one-shot mechanic. Apparently if you perfect dodge like slightly too late, you can still survive with half HP, so that kind of works as well. But the timing on it is a little bit tricky, because it happens after she swings her pole or whatever she's wearing or like using. But the thing is, she can kinda do it a second time as well. So certain amount, like sometimes when she does the swing, she'll also follow it up with a second swing. So you have to kind of pay attention to her character itself and not to the arena, because for the first AoE she'll do the indicator with the arena and the big AoE indicator on the floor, but for the second swing she won't do that. So you really have to pay attention to the character itself to make sure whether or not she is doing that second swing. Now when it comes down to the gear that you can get from it, at the moment there isn't much that we can get just yet. There's one booster and a receiver as well, or a module I should say. The module you definitely want to go get later when the second raid is released for Busan. We'll be able to transcend this as well. Right now you can only get the module itself. Later on we can get the transcendence stones for this module. So I believe you also need the first and second raid for the transcendence stones. So you definitely want to keep farming this one even after you're already done obtaining the module. Now for the receiver, I believe this one is bugged, because I was talking with a friend that plays on KR quite a bit, and apparently there's supposed to be 3 different receivers, one for each damage type, aerial, chase and back. But when I looked into the store, there was only the back receiver available for purchase, which is probably going to be patched soon, I hope. He did say that it's possible to trade the receivers for a different type of receiver, but I'm basically just going to be waiting until they add the other receivers into the store, because of course not every character wants a back receiver. On the contrary, pretty much everyone wants an aerial receiver nowadays. So that's kind of what you can get from this. The fight itself is really easy outside of that one mechanic at the end of the fight. Even that mechanic in the middle where everybody needs the perfect dodge, if you fail it, you just basically lose some DPS and the boss fight will take some longer, because you just have to run out of that AoE. So that's not really too big of an issue. The one at the end of the boss fight, that one will kill people the first few times that they see it, because the timing to get it right is a little bit tricky, and then of course that she can follow up with a second one can kind of throw people off guard. As for the gear, the module is really good. The receiver you want to get as well. Hopefully they'll fix it soon and we can get the other 2 as well. And then when they release the second raid, we'll also be able to get some trinkets, which will then replace our Wolfgang / Hoffman trinkets. I believe they're called demon trinkets or something like that. But we'll be able to get that in a future update. When that's going to be coming to the EU/NA server, not quite sure just yet. So far we'll have plenty of time to farm this one, because we do need quite a lot of materials to be able to get these 2 items. So it'll take quite a while to farm both the module as well as the receiver. and then basically get ready for part 2 of the raid. But that's going to be it for me. That's the gear that you can get from it. That's kind of like a rundown of the mechanics as well. I'll leave the rest of the gameplay play out so you can see all the way till the end how it kind of looks like and what you can prepare yourself for as well if you plan on going into the raid later today or tomorrow or something like that. This one again is a 4-man raid. Unlike Beelzebub needed 12 people to be run efficiently. This one you can do solo or with 4 people, or up to 4 people I should say. As I said, soloing, definitely do not recommend you do that until you have really good gear basically. So for now just try to find a party of 4 people to get it down. Because once you have a party of 3 even, like we had right here, it definitely went down relatively quickly. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Want to thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.